Emotional men are weak. The men who feel upset and drop everything in a moment's notice to then be upset are not men. A real masculine man has specific duties that must be fulfilled, and if they are not fulfilled, then he is simply not a man. The very moment a baby boy is born, he will have his whole life set out to become a man, and that will remain as the truth, whether he likes it or not. And the weak and feminine men who don't agree with it or go against it are only harming themselves and their closest people. Real masculine men who take on the traditional beliefs and morals make the lives of their closest people better and lead on to live a meaningful and fulfilled life. Every single day you have the choice between building yourself up to become a more masculine man, or you can stay complacent, living as a weak and feminine man. The choice is yours, of course, but you living your life as a weak and feminine man will mean that only you suffer from not living up to your potential, and your closest people suffer because they don't have a masculine presence in their life. But you can help them, and here's how. Men need to stay strong and stoic during hard times. When times have been hard, and all of the women, children and weak men were in a constant state of helplessness, where they didn't know what to do, or weren't strong enough to do what was needed, real masculine men would step in and take charge. Masculinity means doing the work that is needed, and not letting any emotion stop you from doing that work. And the work that is needed to be done sometimes is saving close ones from crises or hard times. And do you think the weak man who comes to save his close ones will be able to handle the mental and emotional load of everyone during a crisis? He will be helping several people who are in a state of fight or flight, who are not thinking straight, and who will unpurposely put doubt into his head. Are you sure you want to do this? I don't want to do that. What about this? The man who hears this and starts to question his leadership, gives in to the doubts and starts listening to his emotions rather than logic, or even worse, starts to give off limp-dick body language. He would pass on that anxiety and uncertainty to the people he's trying to help, who will once again feel helpless because the man who was supposed to save them crumbled under the pressure. Whereas the real masculine man, who remains certain of himself and doesn't give in to the doubt nor his own leadership, will give his people a sense of comfort and security. They will know and feel that he is bringing them towards the good times again. Both of these men could be equally scared when trying to save their people, and the only difference being that the first man gave in to his emotions, which then crippled his ability to think, lead and save his people. Contrast that to the second man, who didn't give in to his emotions, stayed logical and kept listening to his rational thoughts, which then made him able to lead his people to the good times. But that is an extreme example. Most men will never experience anything like that in their life. But if a man is able to overcome such hard times with his closest people at stake, then he will certainly be able to overcome the everyday challenges that life brings him. So if a man is unable to bring his people from the hard times to the good times, or is even unable to deal with everyday life, then he is weak. As masculinity also means that you need to provide for your people, and so you would need to provide emotional support for the women, children and feminine men in your life. And being emotional as a man means that you won't be able to provide emotional support for your people because you may get your feelings hurt. So you need to become the person that everybody can depend on to give them support during hard times or whenever they are needing it. But it doesn't mean that you can never be emotional. It's okay to be weak, but it's not okay to stay weak. Bearing the weight of the world on your conscience will likely take a toll on you, and you need a healthy way to heal yourself. Because if you suppress the pain that you're going through and try to tough it out, the pain that you're feeling will come out in other ways that you don't expect, such as becoming irritable, easily annoyed, or lashing out at someone for doing something that doesn't usually bother you. Your brain is trying to signal a problem to you by creating an emotional response when you think of a certain thing, but when you ignore it, the thought goes away, but the emotion lingers, which means that your closest people suffer because you can't deal with your own problems. And most of the problems that you do face, you can easily overcome yourself. If it is something that you would be embarrassed to talk about, it means that you can journal and talk to your subconscious instead of talking to someone in person. You explain to yourself what has happened, why it happened, how it might have branched off and affected other areas in your life, and then reassure yourself, telling yourself that it's okay to be like that or feel like that. And do not put yourself down for your emotions. That would only make things worse. Accept them as they come and let them flow through you and out of you. And if you're feeling a certain way that you don't usually feel, stand back and analyze yourself. And think to yourself, what might have caused me to feel like this? And most of the time, the answer will come to you. And the problem will go away on itself because you would realize how small it really is. But if it is a bigger problem, it may take some more thought, journaling, or talking to someone. And if you try to suppress any of it, it will only linger. It doesn't make you weak for trying to be a good man, but your emotions will get the best of you sometimes. And you may have less emotional tolerance than the next man, but that's okay. Everybody has a different emotional tolerance. And in the worst case scenario, you would need to go talk to someone about your problems and to express your emotions. And go do that. with someone that you trust and who cares about you. They will certainly be very happy to help, and even more so because you should be dealing with a very serious problem that you need to go talk to someone about it. You will not be judged for being emotional if you're strong 99% of the time, and you will never be judged about your problems if they are serious, not something small like you taking what someone said to heart. So don't suppress problems your whole life. Deal with your manageable problems. Talk to someone with your more serious problems that you can deal with yourself. Stay strong and be ready to lead your closest people through the hard times into the good times.